All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 7, right, of the Better Take podcast. This time I actually got it right. Today we have 2 special guests. We have Chris and Jazzy here. Hello. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Chris.
Okay.
So my name is Chris Pineda. My wife, Jazmin Pineda. We've been married 13 years. Together 13 years, not married 13 years.
Married 8 years?
Married 8 years.
Damn.
Gym aficionados. I don't know what else to say right now.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm Jazmin Pineda or Jazzyfit on Instagram. I hate when people introduce yourself.
I hate that shit too. Honestly, I hated doing that. When I did that, I was like, fuck, why did I do that? Because I hate when people do that to me because then you have to explain what you do.
Yeah.
How do you guys explain what do you do to other people?
We were literally breaking this down to my brother the other day because he just moved here 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He's from Georgia and he moved to Colorado. Now he's here in Houston. He's literally 3 minutes down the road from me.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you guys tell people that you do? I was like, it literally just depends on who asks us.
Exactly.
If it's some old head, we're like, oh, we're in marketing. Just it's just
that's a good. I'm gonna take that one, man. That's a good one.
We do marketing. If it's someone around our age, we're like, oh, we have a clothing brand, we have social media, we online training. We do a little bit of everything. So it literally just depends on
who's asking. You have to kind of evaluate the person. You're like, all right, this person might understand. Yeah. I was telling Duhan, Duhan's my camera guy for the people listening. I was telling Duhan, whenever people ask me what I do, it's such a myriad of things. Some people think I'm a professional athlete or whatever. I just end up saying I own a clothing brand. Just keep it simple and just keep it very face level, because if I tell them I do social media, it turns into, how do you make money off of that? It turns into a whole conversation.
Yes,
I'm not really trying to have. Yeah. But you guys, the first thing you guys mentioned was that you've been married for 8, together for 13 years.
Yep.
So how old are you guys? You guys are older 20s or?
Oh, yeah. I'm already 30.
30? Okay.
And I'm 28. So we were high school sweethearts, basically.
Holy shit.
Yeah. We didn't go to the same high school, but we started dating in high school. Yeah.
So talk about that. Because that's interesting to me, because now I work with a bunch of young kids and I'm literally not coaching them, but I'm the old head now. So I'm helping them navigate through life and relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how did you, because you guys got married 8 years ago, so young 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you, Chris, how did you look at Jazzy and was like, oh, she's the one that I want to marry for sure?
Well, to be completely transparent.
Oh my God. Are you going to tell them I forced you to get married?
Nah, it's not that she forced me. It's we wanted to live together pretty bad because, me and Jazmin have always been independent, pretty grown up for our age and wanted to go out and pursue bigger things. And we wanted to live together just so that we could have that independency.
Yeah.
But her parents would not allow it unless there was a ring on her finger. So,
shit.
The proposal came a little bit ahead of time, but it was going to happen.
Yeah, it was going to happen.
It was going to happen. So it was just forced, as far as timeline. But, Jazmin's always been my better half. She's always made me a better person, made me want to pursue greatness, be something that I myself never thought I could be. So that's how I knew she was.
Yeah, that's good, because I've been telling the guys around me that are a lot younger. I'm like, yo, when you find that girl, you're gonna stop fucking around. Your whole mindset's gonna change, and you're gonna want to be better for that person. So that's really interesting hearing that. So did you feel whenever you got together with her and you guys decided to take that next step, did anything change after you guys get married? Or because I feel there's some things people expect married couples should do.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So our first year was living together was probably the roughest in our whole relationship, just because you're really learning what the other person's about, their true habits and not what they're trying to show you through text or just the weekend hanging out together. You're living with this person all day long. So that was our roughest year. We had to figure each other out. But the good thing about me and Jazmin is that we communicate really well. So if there's an issue or we're feeling some certain way about a situation, we express it, and we are pretty damn good about working out the situation.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anything directly changed once we got married.
No, I think the first year was always I think it's always the hardest for anyone, but especially for us because we were so young. So we would still get in these crazy fights over dumb shit.
Yeah.
And then you learn as you grow. And I think with us, we've always been best friends too, and we Chris always knew what he didn't want to be, and I always knew what I didn't want to be. So we brought that into our relationship. So we would take things that we would see in, I guess, our parents' relationship, and we're like, okay, well, we're not going to incorporate that in our relationship. We want ours to be fresh and new and different. So that was a little bit hard in the sense of we both came from super Hispanic cultures. So in the Hispanic culture, the wife cooks, the wife cleans, the wife does all this, and the man just works, and then he comes home and everything should be taken care of. Well, I didn't want to take up that role. I was like, I'm not going to be... First, I don't like cooking. I'm not going to take up that role. So we both just came to an understanding of like, hey, he was like, my expectation for you isn't that. And I was like, okay, well, my expectation for you, because my parents wanted me to marry someone who was like working in like with their hands in the fields, or like, you know, just like hard man labor. And Chris has never been a hard man labor. Like not that there's anything wrong with that.
So, I'm good with my hands though. So
so we were just like, okay, hey, my expectation for you isn't that. And so we built a really good relationship with that. And anytime like anyone in our family would say like, you know, for me, his mom's great at cooking. So they'd be like, oh, like, Jazmin doesn't cook for you. And he's like, well, it's okay. I don't want her to cook for me. We just kind of made sure we're on the same team. And that's really helped us along the way. Like, I think what people don't realize, like, you're married, but it's also a partnership and it's teamwork. Like, my goal every day is how can I got to work on me, but how can I make Chris's life easier? And his goal the same day is the same thing. So like, if he sees that I'm like stressed or I'm like cleaning or whatever, instead of him locking himself in a room and gaming, he's like, hey, what can I do for you? What can I help you with? So that we can both be free in the next 30 minutes. I can go do whatever I want and you can go do whatever you want. So it's about a partnership and teamwork too.
That's crazy. Damn, that was like some motivational shit. I was like, I just got pumped up, but
like, so I'm getting married.
I'm like, fuck, man. Cause like, I think a lot of people hearing this, like they're probably going through situations and struggles, like trying to figure out, man, is this guy the one? Like this, that, and the third, he's not treating me right. And I think like once you find that person that's going to treat you right, like it hits you in the face. Like I have some friends that are even older now, and like they're like, I know when a guy's fucking around. Like I'm like, man, you don't like that girl like that. Like the way that you treat her, the way that you be acting with her, I'm like, man, you don't like her as much. I think you just like the convenience of her. But when it comes to like actually like settling down, like actually loving and caring for that person, I don't feel like that passion is there. So I always ask like couples, I'm like, how did you guys know that you guys were at that point? So you mentioned that your brother moved from Georgia, right?
Well, from Georgia to Colorado.
Colorado. So are you guys originally from Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay, like where in Georgia? Like?
So I'm from a small town called Dalton. It's like
Dalton, okay.
30 minutes from the Tennessee border. But I was born in LA, lived there for like a year, and then my family came over to Georgia to look for jobs, and we stayed there until me and Jazmin decided to go over here.
Yeah, and then you guys come from like traditional, like what's the background? You said like traditional Hispanic, right?
Yeah, traditional. Mine's a lot more traditional than his, because his dad was raised in LA. My parents were like born and raised in Mexico, so they came here, and so I'm first generation, so I'm very like into my Mexican roots. I got you. So how was that moving from there to Houston? Because you guys have been in Houston for how long now?
Almost 5 years now.
5 years? You guys came in like 2018, 2019, around that time? Okay. So what was that conversation like moving? Because like I think, so like you guys got married, spent a couple of years in Georgia, and then from there you moved on over to Houston. Like was it hard leaving the family back behind, or was it just kind of like spreading your wings? And
so I mean, it was definitely hard for Jazmin.
Yeah, for me, it's still hard for me.
Really?
Yeah, it's still hard for me.
I mean, now as I'm getting older, it's getting harder, you know, like when we go visit family and we have to come back, you know, I'm like, oh shit, you know, this I'm going away. What if something happens? I might not see him. But at that moment in time back then, 5 years ago, I was just like, later.
Yeah.
I'll see you when I see you.
Well, we wanted more out of our life, right? We were we were living in such a small town where, I'm not kidding you, like now they've expanded so much. They've opened up little bars and things like that. In our time, we would have to drive to Atlanta, an hour and a half, 2 hours away to for anything.
Restaurants, clubs, bars.
Like there was just
like our town legit only had a Walmart and a movie theater. Yeah,
and like Applebee's was like the spot. Yeah, so it was just really small. So at that point, we were like, it was me mostly, because my parents owned restaurants back in the day, and I was working them, and one day I just like popped. I was like feeling suffocated. And I was like, I need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I'm like, either you coming with me, baby, or I'm just going by myself. And he's like, no, let's go. Cause I feel like he was kind of like he was iffy on moving a little bit more than I was. I was just like, fuck it, let's do it. I need to get out. And so we did. And it was hard in the sense of family, right? I had to leave my family. I'm the oldest. So I always really like took care of them. And, you know, now it's even harder. My sister has a little girl, so now I have a little niece, and I wish I was there experiencing life with them, but I just wish they would come here. I don't want to move there. Yeah.
So what exactly drew you guys to Houston specifically?
So, like the year before we moved, we actually came to, I think it was the very first summer shredding.
Yeah.
Okay. The very first summer shredding. And at that point in time, Jazmin had already been in contact with the Ghost team as well. So they were going to show up to the summer shredding event. And we were just like, you know what, let's go out there. We were big fans of Christian. We've been following for a minute. And the Ghost guys were going to be there. Like, we could go ahead and meet the Ghost guys, see what's up, if it clicks. So we came out, had a great time. We met Kelvin. And Kelvin became a good friend of ours. And like, he let us stay with him, and like, he took us all over the place eating and whatnot. Yeah. And then, so that kind of like planted the seed of Houston.
Yeah. I hearing that name just like threw me back a little bit.
Like way back.
Yeah, way back. Yeah. So like, how do you guys like living in Houston? Cause I know like some people that are like kind of new here, they have like their takes on it. So how do you guys feel about Houston after being here for some time?
I mean, I love Houston. Like there's a lot to do. Restaurants, plenty of good restaurants, nightlife if you want it.
Yeah.
Culture here, like, it's so diverse, right? Where we're from was like primarily white. So not that there's anything wrong with that, you know, but I'm just saying like there's no diversity. So here it's super diverse. I think the only complaint I ever get people is the humidity, right? Yeah. That's just honestly what sucks the most. But other than that, I mean, we live in Sugar Land. We love the suburb area. Like that's what we grew up in. That's what we know. That's what I like. So we don't really we don't deal with traffic every day, thankfully, or anything like that. But yeah, I love Houston.
Yeah, so I wanted to get y'all's take on, because for those of you guys listening, like they train hard as fuck. Like you guys don't play about like your fitness. I don't know, like have you gotten away more from like the bodybuilding aspect of things, or like, because I've seen like you're doing more running?
Yeah, so I did my competition. I wanted to compete last year, so I prepped for like 4 months from September to December. Went to nationals, placed 6. So then I was like, they were like, you need to grow and get bigger, and I was like, I'm not gonna get bigger. Like I don't want to get bigger. So then I had to actually take some time off the gym because my hormones were all out of whack. My body was so inflamed that they were like, you gotta rest. And now, just like as a challenge for myself, I signed up for a half marathon. So I've been running a shit ton. Yeah. So that's why I've only been working out like 2 to 3 times a week. At first I was like, I can run and I can work out. I have preps, I can do both. But when you're running 6 to 10 miles a day, the last thing you want to do is go work out. So, and it also depends on how your body's just like shot. So,
I mean, the biggest thing I think with us is like, we don't do anything half-ass. Like if we say we're going to do a marathon, we're going to do a marathon competitive. Not just to check it off our list. If we say we're going to do a prep, we're not just going to step on stage. Like we want to be competitive. I like, that's why everything takes a toll on her. That's why, like, you know, we go hard in every aspect of our life. And, you know, setting up that standard, just like, it'll carry over to business, it'll carry on to social life. Just, you know, do things 100%. Like,
so you guys both running? Like,
I don't run right now.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I'm way too fucking heavy.
I was like, holy shit. Because you're jacked, but I'm like, how the fuck are you carrying that weight around? Like,
I mean, I used to run. I ran collegiately. I ran in high school. I got a full ride for college, and then
he was super competitive.
I became All-American in my freshman year, and then I got asthma, and then it just went to shit.
What? You got asthma?
Yeah, like I developed asthma in college.
What the fuck? Running to me, whenever people say like, oh yeah, I'm about to go run like a quick little 5. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, just thinking about that, like it just makes my lower back cramp up right now, just thinking about it.
I can't see you running. I mean, you have a lot of muscle mass.
I mean, I can do sprints, like very short
solid
sprints.
5 seconds.
Solid 5 seconds of a burst. But if it goes into like, oh, you got to maintain that, or like maintain a like constant level for like 20 minutes, fuck no, I'm not into that shit. It's just hard. But I always respect when people are able to do that, because I'm like, I cannot do that. But like whenever you guys first moved here, I noticed that you guys train hard as shit. So when you're inside of the gym, you take it very seriously, right? Yeah. So with the rise of like TikTok and just like the new age of social media, what's your guys' overall take of just like where the fitness industry is currently at?
Well, to be honest, I don't even get on TikTok just because like most of the stuff on there just kind of annoys me. So that's probably going to give you a foresight of what my answer is going to be.
Okay.
Like, I just feel like people in the gym right now, and if they are TikTok influencers or making TikTok content, they're just in there bullshitting.
Yeah.
Like, I like to get a workout, make sure that like it's intense the whole way through. Most of the time when I'm like at Alphaland and I see people TikToking, like doing content for TikTok, they're just doing like one workout, acting, or doing some bullshit like tutorial, whatever it is, and then they just bullshit the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's not for me. I'm not gonna influence it, like, or talk highly of it. Like, I understand that, you know, people are getting followers and that translates to money, but I'm not about it.
Yeah, I feel you.
Okay. I agree with what he says. I don't think everyone, right? Like, I think the important thing about a viewer, like if you have a social media and you're on social media and you're looking, you need to be like, I think like honest and just, I guess not be so naive when it comes to what you're looking at, because I do think right now, like with the rise of TikTok, there are a lot of people, like how he said, going on there and filming one video and saying, oh, look at me do like 100 crunches, and then these people are like, oh my God, this guy is so fit, when we're, in reality, he doesn't even train hard, right? So it's like, I don't think people are training as hard anymore as they used to, or not even, there's still people training hard, but they're not. Like for me, it's really, people don't understand, it's really hard for me to record content, because when I'm in the gym, I'm there to train. Yeah. So when I have to think about, press record, oh my God, sometimes I like press record and I'm like, I don't even look at it till I leave, and I'm like, I wasn't even in the shot. And I get pissed, but I'm like, whatever, I was there to train. But right now, I think, you know, you just have to realize, okay, like take a look, okay, who's actually there to train and who's not, because it's not only with guys. There's a lot of rise in females right now who have fake bodies, and then they're posting like, look at me do this like hip thrust with this 10-pound dumbbell, and this is how I have my massive ass glutes. And I'm like, please, honey, that is not how you have your massive ass glutes. Your thighs don't match with your glutes. And I tell anyone, if you want to know if a butt is real and fake, go take Franciel Matos, the wellness pro, Olympia pro. That's what fit muscles look like. That's what a butt who has muscle looks like, right? And I think it's just like, social media is great and everything, but right now with the fitness industry, it's really hard, because I think a lot of people are getting sold on the fake shit.
Yeah, it's tough, because I think the biggest change is that fitness has become so popular. People now see it as an avenue to become like celebrities, right? So they figure out a way to kind of like fake it and then like present that in a way that allows them to make it. So like for me, I mean, I take the guys here, like they know like how seriously I train. Like I literally do not fuck around in the gym. I actually talk a lot of shit when I train. So like for me, when I see like people not take it serious, I get mad. I don't know. I'm trying to let that go, because everyone has their own journeys and shit. But like, if I see people in the gym and like they're just like more so focused on the content, sometimes I'll call it out. I'm like, yeah, like 10 sets of selfies. Like, I fuck with that shit. But I wanted to get back to that gritty, just like, I feel like earlier on in the fitness industry, it was more so about the work that you put in, and you would get praised off of that. Not so much about just like bullshitting your physique and then getting praised off of that. Right. So like, I don't know, with the way that like pop culture is blurring with like fitness and all that kind of shit, it makes it kind of hard to like see the people that are actually putting in the work. Yeah, but it was just one of the things that stuck out about me, was just stuck out for me, for you guys, was just like, bro, you guys like actually take the gym very, very seriously. So just like seeing like you guys like get mad about those people that just like kind of fuck around in the gym is funny. And
it's crazy. We've always been that way since we started. And so I used to train with him every single day. So I train really, really hard. So when girls, it's really nice when like, I think I have some UFC friends and stuff, and they're like, damn, Jazmin, you train hard. And they're like, you know, most like, if you're not like a fighter or whatever, you don't train as hard, you know, because you see girls at the gym, they don't really train hard. I'm like, no, if I'm training, I train hard. If you want to train with me, you're going to train hard. Because there's been plenty of times that I'll be like, okay, let's work out together. And I'm like, this is not training. This is not training.
Yeah.
But I love it. I think if you're there to put it work. I mean, you know, some people, if you're a beginner, right, everyone at their own pace. But for me, the gym is just like, I'm there. It's an anxiety reliever. I have to be pushing myself to get that release that I need.
Yeah. So transitioning from that, like we briefly brought up like celebrities kind of in a sense, like how like fitness is like the new, I guess like celebrity thing, or like just kind of the lines are blurred. And a podcast, like maybe 2 podcasts back, I talked about how like social media has made everything such a small world. We now have like real life, like entertainers and rappers, athletes, like hitting up a lot of like the girls in the fitness space. So like let me explain the situation. I've had a situation in the past where like an athlete of a team that I was a fan of reached out to my girl. Yeah. And I was like, I'm like, fuck. Now I can't even fucking
for a pair of
No, but I'm like, man, like now it don't even hit the same no more. I can't even support this goddamn team. So like, have you guys had a situation where like a rapper athlete?
I mean, luckily, like I'm not a
big sports person.
Sports, bro. Yeah, no sports. But I mean, Jazmin has
DMs going
athletes, singers, CEOs, doctors, like well-known people in her DMs. And like none of them have really ever bothered me because I mean she doesn't pay any attention to them or reply back. But yeah, it gives you perspective.
Yeah, has there been anyone where you're like, man, I was a fan of this guy, or like I fucked with this guy's shit.
I'm a fan of a couple of them. Still am. I'm not gonna say I'm not.
Yeah. Does that change anything for you? It's just like
It's just like, hey, my girl's hot, cool. I get it. Shoot your shot, man. It's not happen, but shoot your shot.
I think I'm petty then, because I'll be like, man, I can't even fuck with bro's team no more. Because I respect it. I'm like, all right, like I see you see it too, but I don't know. It kind of like affects it, you know, for me personally. Yeah. So how do you like? Does it do anything for you when? No,
to be honest, I mean, it's even happened to, because I'm not like big on sports where I won't even know, and I'll be like, hey, this person reached out. I don't know who he is, and he'll be like, are you serious? This is whatever. But I don't really like. I think my biggest fan moment was with Nicky Jam. Nicky Jam, I don't know.
I think I know who that is.
Nicky
actually.
Jam messaged me and I was like, oh my God, Nicky Jam. This was a few years back.
Yeah.
But now I don't really like, you know, really. I mean, it's because I don't really get like, oh my God, because I'm really not going to do anything with it, right?
Yeah,
like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
But it's cool. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I usually just tell him, I'm like, oh, like, this rapper messaged me this week. Like 2 weeks ago, a rapper messaged me, and it'd
probably be some corny ass shit, right? Like it's nothing like.
Well, this last one was just like, hey, babe, where you at, or where you stay, or whatever.
Where you stay, or something like that. Yeah.
Has there been any? Because I'll admit there are some bars that like one dude dropped. I was like, that was a pretty good line. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty good line.
I haven't been impressed by any.
Yeah, you haven't been impressed by any?
No, I haven't been impressed by any. No.
Yeah.
It's usually like very like, hey, where do you stay? Hey, where you at? Literally like that. I
don't know. Like to me, like, because this is gonna lend into another conversation, but like, I don't know. I feel like if you get reached out by the DMs, like it has to be like a certain type of mood that you're in.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like most girls would take that as disrespect now, in a sense. I don't know.
What would be the alternative? Like if you had never met, like for example, like if a rapper reached out to her, what other way does he have to reach out?
Yeah.
To her?
True. Because I'm thinking about it like this, right? Like the way that they reach out, it's like clearly you're just trying to like, you're just trying to get with me. Like, I don't know. I've found that a lot of girls get turned off by that. It's just like, I'm not going to give this guy any time or anything like that because like he's not like, I know exactly what he wants and I'm not down for that.
Yeah, but for every girl that's like that, there's also
another girl that's like that, right?
Yeah, because I told him, I'm like, even if I was single, I'd be like, I wouldn't. Like he just wants to get some. Like I'm just another girl. He probably messaged 10 girls in the same hour. And they always hit you up at like 3 a.m. Right? It's like 3 a.m. they shoot their shot. I'm like, they lonely. So I'm like, I wouldn't message back. I'm like, I don't know who would. He's like, no, there's girls that would. So it's like, it just depends.
Yeah. So I was talking about this topic at the gym recently. Does catcalling bother you? Like, have you been catcalled before?
Like
in public?
Or like they just like
when guys try to get your attention.
Yeah,
a lot. Especially when I'm by myself, it's fucking annoying.
Yeah,
I'd hate it.
Have you been catcalled, Chris, at all?
You catcalled?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. You've been catcalled?
Yeah, I get. Yeah. Oh, well, it's
by
because
guys?
Not by guys. I've been okay. most of the times when I run my errands, it's like immediately after the gym. So the way my schedule, yeah.
That's what you said?
In his singlet?
Yeah, my singlet. No, you know what's so funny? I've ran errands in my powerlifting singlet. So like my powerlifting singlet's like just, it's a fucking wrestling singlet.
Yeah.
So like I've run errands, like, I don't know, I'm fucking weird. But the way my schedule is, I'll wake up, do my breakfast shit, go to the gym. And then from there, like, I'll just wear my shit to go out, like go grocery shopping or do whatever I got to do. It's mostly older women though. Most older women hit on me a lot. Like they'll just pull up and be like, muscle, like just crazy shit. Like, and I wear my shorts and shit. It's just annoying. But how would you feel if like that? Because that's the basis, right? That's the norm for me, right? You're used to that. How would you feel internally if like you just didn't get catcalled anymore? Because it's like it's almost like a
sense of validation. It gives you some sort of validation.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, for me,
come on, baby.
Yeah, for me personally, in the moment, I'm like, I'm just trying to get out of there. But then when I leave, I'm like,
you get in the car.
I'm like, I'm like, damn, she thought my thighs were out like that. But what do you like? How do you take that? Like, if someone was like, if the catcalling were to stop, like, would that be something you'd be thinking about? You're like, damn, like I lost my shit, like, or.
I think for me, it makes so. I don't like catcalling when I'm alone, and especially like if I'm running errands, because I'm like, just like same, I'm all sweaty. Sometimes I'm like, no makeup, no one knows me. Yeah. And I still get catcalled, and then I'll get in the car. I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't even wearing makeup. I didn't want to get catcalled. And I feel like then it wouldn't bother me. For me, I think what would bother me is like when I dress up, you know when people are looking at you, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So I'm like, I like when people are looking at me because it's like, okay, they think I look good. If that stopped, then I would be then I would be like, oh shit, no one thinks I look good. Like if
you start getting ready for the club and shit, and no one said shit, you're just like, all right, hold on, man. Like, fuck.
Yeah, that's when I feel like I would be like, oh shit. But like the catcalling, just at the store and stuff, I feel like for me, especially when I'm as a female, when I'm by myself, it's more scary. Like I just don't like it. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know, I just get really scared.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. It was just like a weird conversation they were talking about, because I think I saw it from it was like this TV show. They ran like a skit, and I was like, damn, like I never even thought about that. Like, yeah, you don't like it in the moment, but then like just imagine if it's completely gone. It makes you feel kind of like, damn, like have I lost it or anything like that?
Yeah, you've never been catcalled like that when you're by yourself?
No.
I think the only people that really find, like, not the only find you attractive, but the ones that usually are bold enough to say something, and even in front of me, are when you get massages. Like the time they love his body. They're like, oh, Greek god, oh, like sculpture. Damn, like they love his body, and I'm just like, are you like getting a happy ending after this? You're like, what is going on? Because these ladies are in love with you.
What does the Nelk boy say? Rug and tug? No. What did they say? Tuggies?
Yeah, they call them tuggies. Damn. I feel like, I don't know, once the girls get older, because like it's never girls my age, like never. I think like maybe one time, because I'm a very yes ma'am, yes sir type thing, and I was checking out a Bath and Body Works, like one of my favorite stores of all time, and I was checking out, and she's like, "Is that all for you?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am," and she goes, oh, "Not you saying yes, ma'am." I'm just like,
what do you do to that? Do you laugh?
No, I just laugh. I just go, yeah, I just laugh. I mean, like, I think I'll just treat it like how most girls do it. It's just like kind of laugh or whatever. But even like, I feel like going back to like before we started talking, you said that you took a break, right? From social media in general. What was the purpose of the break? Like, why did you want to take some time off?
So before the break, I was like in a really negative mindset. Like everything was, you know, I competed in December, and then after competition, my hormones were out of whack, and then my body was so inflamed that they were like, okay, well, you can't train. Okay, well, you can't do any cardio either, which I was doing a lot of spin classes because I love spin. And for me, working out and like, especially cardio is a form of like my anxiety relief. So when I can't do that, I feel like I'm going insane. Like, yeah, journaling works here and there, but like for me, it's like I have to release it. Yeah. So for like a few months, I wasn't really doing much. Like I would go to the gym, but it was just like very lightweight. And like Chris mentioned earlier, we're like all in people, like especially me. So if I don't feel like I'm giving anything my best, like I just feel like I'm complacent. My like self-worth, like the way that I feel about my self-confidence kind of goes down. So for a few months, I was just kind of feeling like meh. And then because of that, I think it was just like spiraling down. I started focusing a lot on the negatives, and like, especially on social media, I was doing things that I never try to look at the comments, but I was looking at all the comments, especially from the provocative TikTok. I like have art do that, so like I don't have to look at it, but I was going on there and I was looking, and everything that they were saying was just like getting to me.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. Sometimes at that point it was really hard for me because I have my Instagram, which I post fitness, I post a lot of things, but I also post my body, right? And people have a lot of positive things to say about my body, but they also have like, they say things, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm posting things about my body here, and then people are commenting negatively. And then I'm posting things on the podcast about the way that I think, and people are commenting negatively.
Yeah.
So I started just taking everything they were saying, and like, well, they hate my body and they think I'm stupid. So I was just like in a negative headspace, and I could not get out. Like every day, like I was just anxious and like focused on what they were saying, and like it was like I just couldn't see the light. I think a little bit of that was depression. Like I was like kind of getting depressed. So I was like, I need to just take a whole month off social media, not worry about posting much. Like I was still posting what I needed to because I'm with Dark Sport and stuff, and like, you know, I have to make a living. So I would post, but then I would get off. I wasn't posting on my stories. I wasn't replying to DMs. I didn't get on TikTok just like to look. I would get on TikTok here and there to just like if I was bored, but I tried my best not to be on social media at all.
Yeah.
And it really, really helped me, because sometimes you got to take yourself out out of an influencer and just like, I'm a regular person.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I'm like, I'm a regular person. So on TikTok, if I was scrolling, it was just like, because usually if I'm on TikTok, it's like, okay, I need to do this trend, I need to do this trend. Oh, this one's popping up. Let me go look. Like literally, it's not fun for me anymore where I'm just like, oh, let me like this stupid cat video. It's like, no, I like more of these videos. So now all these videos are popping off, and it's because I'm saving them because I need to do that trend. So that my, like, you know, it's like, it's all work. So I was like, I need a whole month where I'm not thinking about myself as an influencer. I'm just like a regular person. And it really, really helped me.
Yeah. That's so crazy, because I feel like people don't understand what it's like. I feel like, okay, so social media is such like a new realm. People look at what we do and it's like, oh, that's not like a real job. Like, oh, like you're one of my best friend, he goes, every day's the weekend for you, bro. Like, that's his favorite term. Like he actually said that like a couple of days ago. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot, every day's the weekend for you, bro. I'm like, bro, no. Like social media takes a lot of work, and it also takes a big toll on you mentally, because a lot of the, like you're literally putting yourself out there, whether it be physically or mentally. And people just don't understand that like social media for us is like our workplace. And oftentimes for us, it's toxic. Like people are shitting on you 100 miles per hour. People are always like pointing out your insecurities and then just expecting you to just ignore it and just kind of push on, which isn't like a normal thing. Like you shouldn't be having like 50 people's opinions on a picture that you post, right? Because you're always going to focus on like the 5 negative out of like the 45 positive ones. What do you do like, whenever she gets in like ruts like that, is there anything you feel like you could do, or is it just more so just kind of like leave it to her to kind of?
Well, you know, I try helping. You know, words of affirmation help. You know, telling her my view of how I see her, how I think she thinks. You know, trying to get her out of the house, because whenever she's in the house, just sitting in her hole, it's a little bit worse. If she doesn't feel like gymming, I force her to go to the gym. Like I know sometimes maybe what I do is probably worse for you, but I feel like I'm attentive to her a lot. Like I know where she is emotionally, and I just try doing what I can, to be honest. Like I'll help her around the house, help her with whatever project she has going on, or maybe even picking up a new project, because sometimes it's just a question of she doesn't have anything to do. So we'll find her something to do. Yeah,
that's true. I feel like, have you guys had like jobs? I was about to use the term real jobs, like outside of like social media, like.
I mean, before moving here, for sure. I mean, the most recent job I had was working at a car dealership, but I've worked at warehouses. I've driven forklift trucks. I've sold cell phones. Jazmin has had probably twice as many jobs as I's had. And
I do want to say, you know, social media has its hard moments, but we are blessed to do
of course.
Right? You have to state it, because some people are like,
people
are complaining over the dumb shit.
I already see the comment section right now.
You stay at home. So like you gotta say it, because if not, I am truly blessed. But you got to take into account what their escape is. Social media is their escape from
true,
life.
exactly.
It's not our escape.
Yeah.
So we don't really have an escape. We have to actually find other things. For me, it's Sudoku. I love to just do puzzles and shit. So, but I just want to state that. But what was the question again? Sorry.
No, so it was more so just like what
Real jobs.
Oh, real jobs.
Real jobs.
No, my parents owned restaurants, so I grew up in the restaurant business. I started as hostess when I was like 9, and then I worked as a cashier, waitress, manager. So I grew up in the restaurant, and then I also did when we were like hustling. I was working at the restaurant. He was working at
cell phone.
We were online training. Plus, I was doing boot camps on the weekend.
Training.
Yeah, in person and makeup on the side.
Yeah,
I had 4 jobs all at once, trying to just hustle.
What's like the hardest job? Because like I want to kind of debunk the myth that like social media. Well, okay. There's like 2 levels. I think there's like tiers of social media influencer or just like on social media entrepreneurs. There's the ones that like literally just make money off their sponsorships and like they make enough to like they don't have to really do shit. Like
I was just thinking about that today.
Yeah.
Because I saw this girl. I'm like, man, I think she just makes her money off because she doesn't have any training or anything. I'm like, must be nice. I'm like, that's kind of nice. Like she has her money just from like, because she's with Gymshark. I'm like, I'm sure Gymshark pays her whatever. And she just has all this day to do whatever she wants. You know, it's different than people like who are entrepreneurs with social media and have other things.
Because like so for the people listening, like think about your favorite influencer, right? And it's not even like a disrespect thing. It's just like there's some people that like literally all they do is train and go home and like don't do shit. Not in a bad way, but their sponsorships allow them to like afford that lifestyle. And then there's like the other ones that like, yes, they are sponsored, but they also have their own side businesses that they do as well, or even like their own business that they do. And it takes a lot of time because like now you're more responsible for people. But kind of speak to the behind the scenes of creating content and what it is like to do what you guys do. Because when I remember when I first started social media and like doing that kind of stuff and chasing that dream. Oh, that sounds so weird. Chasing that dream. Like, what the fuck? Whenever I was trying to make it on social media and do YouTube, I had a girlfriend at the time. And like, I would upload daily on YouTube. Like, I would vlog my whole day and spend all night editing and then upload in the morning. And like, we literally could not make it work because she just could not get on board with that. And I remember one of the last conversations I had with her, I was like, yo, please, like, if we were able to stick this like little hard moment out, I promise you it's gonna get to a point where like I'm gonna be calling my own shots and like we're gonna be like traveling the world and doing all that kind of stuff. But I think like people just see the surface level stuff and they don't realize there's like a whole like work that goes underneath that. So like how difficult is it for you guys to kind of like stream together content or just like get content?
I mean, now we're pretty programmed. Like we know that Thursdays, which is our off day from the gym, is like shoot content all day, whether it be for like Instagram, for YouTube, OnlyFans, which Jazmin has an OnlyFans. Like we use Thursday specifically for content creation. But back then, it's just like you said, we were putting videos out as often as we could, taking Instagram pictures wherever and whenever we could. And I don't think it's ever interfered with our relationship though, just because we were both on the same page of what our ultimate goal was. Because it seemed like a lot more feasible then, as if you were making the content, something was gonna happen. I feel like now, like everyone's making content, whether or not you can make a living off of it. It's going to be a little harder now. Yeah. I think. It might not be that way, but that's what I think.
And you, back in the day, you were the photographer and I was the model, right? So he was involved in the process. I think maybe like she wasn't involved in your process, so maybe she didn't see it, right?
Yeah.
True. He was involved in the process the whole time. And then now, yes, Thursdays are like content, especially like for OnlyFans, because that's the day where we whip out the most content as we can. But for me, like I'm the influencer, I guess, if we're saying the relationship. He's the manager, so he just tells me, okay, we need to get this done this week. But I still have to think about, okay, I have to record myself because I haven't posted workout, so I have to get ready, gotta post gotta record my workouts, gotta post my workouts, cause I edit my own Instagram. Runs. Now I do my runs because girls are loving the run. So it's like, you just have to make sure it's structured, but your whole life, to be honest, is like, I'm constantly thinking, okay, can I make this as a good form of content? Like everything I do, right? And that's not like, there's people, I'm sure you see that, like, I don't go to the extreme of having a tripod everywhere and like, oh, look at me make my breakfast in this angle. Like, fuck no. That's like too much work. But I am, any chance I can, I'm like, okay, this can make a good video, so I'm gonna make something out of it, right?
Yeah.
But my mind is always thinking about, even for me, the thing I think we argue about the most, and we don't argue, but like he doesn't see, is like on vacation is the perfect time for content, right? But it fucking sucks because I'm there to relax. I'm like, I just want to go to a beach for 3 days, no makeup, no phones, no nothing, and just sit by a pool. Yeah. And he's like, no, baby girl, you gotta get up at 6 a.m.
You gotta make it a write-off.
He's like, you gotta get up at 6 a.m., do your makeup, you gotta go here, you gotta shoot here. And I'm like, fuck. So that's the only time I'm like, we don't see eye to eye, but like, it's always about making content. Yeah.
Speaking on that though, have you guys like, have you guys gotten like a lot of arguments, like given like, cause you're the photographer, right? For the majority of the stuff. Like, cause I know how hard it is to take a picture of like your girl. It's just like, bro, every angle sucks. Like you have to take a million different ones. Like, have you guys gotten any arguments like when it comes to that?
Not serious arguments. I feel like I've gotten to know Jazmin pretty good. I'm like, oh, she's not gonna like this. Yeah. So I'm like, let me get to where she is gonna like it. And then I'm like, oh, babe, you ain't gonna like this. Do something else. Which
I love, cause he'll be like, oh, babe, I'm not feeling this one. And if he's not feeling it, he knows I'm not going to feel it. So he's like, no, we won't do it here. Like he knows my angles, which now sucks because now when I shoot with other photographers, oh my God, it pisses you off. You're like, because I'm like, nah, I don't like this shit. I'm like, babe, I don't like it. Can you just come take the photo? Because he knows my angles, but at first it sucks. It sucks. Yeah.
That's so funny. A lot of people, I mean, like, think for the people listening, like you have like your pictures that you take like with the homies and shit like that. But it's like for social media, you want to present the best version of yourself almost like every single time. Like it's so tough for me for like, some days I don't even like taking pictures in real life. Like I hate pictures. Like when people bring out their cameras, like I always make a stupid face or like I'll flick the camera off so like they can't post it anywhere. But then when I'm inside of the gym, like there's like fucking 10 different cameras like following like different people. So whenever you guys are on vacation, it's like you feel like you have to work almost in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's at least like an expectation to get a certain amount of things done, and then you can relax. But you definitely have to. Like in my mind, I'm like, hey, we're at an exotic location, something different. Let's use it to our advantage.
True. Yeah. I know for sure. Like at the end of this year, like in December, I think I'm gonna go off the grid. Like I'm just gonna go to vacation a couple places and then just like fuck off.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Hey, I might do that too.
Yeah, but you mentioned like a juicy topic, the OnlyFans thing. Whenever you guys first moved down here, you guys were obviously doing like the fitness stuff. So whenever you guys decided to make that transition, what was like the conversation like? Like, was it like
going on to OnlyFans?
Yeah.
So before OnlyFans, there was Patreon, which Patreon's still around. Now it's more for like exclusive like episodes or whatever be of your podcast. And she had a Patreon, and it was just like bikini pics and lingerie pics, just because Instagram was flagging everything. So we had Patreon making.
Wait, sorry. Why does Instagram flag that?
Well, I think it's Jazmin's account. Someone hates on Jazmin like no other, and they report all her shit. Because there's people that get away with way raunchier shit.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, on my For You, no, it's not.
On your homies For You, baby.
Man, okay, for my For You fucking page, man, I be seeing some wild shit, but I don't even be on Instagram like that to be liking no shit like that. But I'll see like damn near nudity, like it's literally just like girls like wearing super see-through shirts. I'm like, bro, like how is this not getting taken down?
For some reason Jazmin shit always gets fucking reported. It is what it is. So we started Patreon, and Patreon was making us money. And I don't even know how we came about to hearing about OnlyFans.
I think we're big followers of Anna Cherie, right?
So Anna Cherie is like pretty up there. She has like 1 million+ followers, and I remember one post she made. She's like, "Oh, buying this Lambo thanks to OnlyFans." I was like, what the fuck? I was like, babe, maybe we just need to take your exact same content that you're posting now and put it on OnlyFans. And we did that, and that shit was just, it popped off.
So it was mostly like Anna Cherie, you saw her shit, you're like, nah, these people are making fucking money off this shit.
She said she was making money. I was like, oh, fuck, let's give it a try. I mean, literally from Patreon to OnlyFans posting the exact same content, it was like 15 times the amount that we were making.
Yeah, and when people, like, from what I understand, like a lot of the girls that post on social media now, like some of the stuff that they post, like the bikini stuff, like they just translate that over to their OnlyFans account.
Yeah,
to a certain extent,
they'll
like
do good for like the first month, but then after that, once people catch on that's all they're going to be getting.
Oh, so like what's the consumer behavior on that? Like, do you have to adjust, or like do you have to get more risque, or like show more as time goes on?
So obviously you're going to make more money the more you show, but
yeah,
we don't do anything explicit with her OnlyFans. But I mean, to be honest, our tactic is get as many new followers as you can to the page. That way, once they burn out, at least there's someone new that's going to take their place.
Okay.
Or you could have I'm going to hold on to whoever I can, keep giving them as much as they want, but that's not what we're about. So we're just getting new people, maximize off of them. If they want to stay on, they stay on, seeing the same thing. But we're not going to give you anyone more than what we are giving them now.
Yeah, that's dope. I feel like you're like the antithesis of like what most dudes would do. I feel like, because like a lot of dudes, like one of the popular conversations that used to come up, it's like, oh, would you let your girl start at OnlyFans? And guys are like, nah, I would never, da da da. But it's like, you're like, nah, bro, like shit, look at this shit, man. Like all we got to do is this, like say less.
Well, my thing has always been like, all right, you guys are like fantasizing about it, you're seeing it, but I'm the only one that gets to fucking experience it. Like, firsthand. Like, why am I gonna be jealous or fucking like, I guess, unconfident about what she's posting or what you guys get to see? Like, that's all you're getting. Yeah. Like, do you prefer looking at a Lambo through a window or actually driving it? There's a big ass difference.
Yeah. Damn, that takes a lot of confidence then, because I feel like a lot of confidence and a lot of security too.
Yeah, I mean, I think more than anything is security, to be honest.
Because a lot of dudes, like, shit, if you even look at their girl, it's like if you just you see a person walking by, you look, why the fuck you looking at my girl? Yeah. So was there like any like rough transition from that? Because like obviously there's like the stigma of like having OnlyFans. Like any relationships change like immediately, like friends, family, any of that?
So people do like, they walk on eggshells around you, right? Because they don't know what to say. But I've always, like, when I told them when we were going to transition into it, because it had such a bad stigma in the beginning, because it was just like being used by people who were doing porn on there. Yeah. But then it like expanded, and I was like, okay, well, we just have to make sure like we set boundaries for ourselves. And I think the way that it works too with me is like, I'm glad we do it together, right? No one else shoots my content. No one, like, it's just us two. I think, any boyfriend's probably gonna have a harder time if you're going out and shooting that kind of content with another photographer, whatever, right? But it's always been us together. So yeah, I mean, people will, at first they were like a little taken back, but I think if you do things with confidence, you know, you don't give, people can still talk, but it's better than being ashamed of what you're doing, right? So I was like, listen, like I'm actually making money and I'm actually posting less bikini photos on Instagram now. And so instead of just posting bikini photos on Instagram, now I'm actually making money posting them on OnlyFans, right? And I'm just posting less here and there just to promote my OnlyFans. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna be confident with it. There's no shame in it. I'm trying to make money to make a future, right? I think a lot of people, they're like, okay, I'm just gonna have an OnlyFans and it's because I'm gonna go buy this bag or just spend all my money. For me, it's like, no, we're making fucking bag because I'm gonna build generational wealth. Like I'm gonna fucking invest our money that we're making into this to something greater. And that's what we've been doing. And so, you know, people are gonna say whatever they wanna say regardless, but I think handling it as a team has all I care about is what he thinks. He's my partner. That's all I care about. If he's okay with it and he's happy with me, I don't care. Do I talk about it with family? No. Did I talk about it with my family in the sense, my mom and my dad don't really have social media like that. My sisters do. And if they have questions, they'll ask me, but I don't really talk about it with my mom and my dad. They would sometimes see, before I had OnlyFans, if I posted any bikini photo, my mom would get so mad. And I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna have this conversation with you. I'm an adult. Like, I'm gonna post what I want to post. This is my thing. Like, we got to stop talking about this, or we're gonna ruin our relationship. So she just kind of stopped asking me. Sometimes she gets curious and she'll ask me, and I'll tell her some things. But my dad, we've never talked about it. I think we just respect the boundaries. My biggest thing with it that I was scared the most was, what if my dad's friends see the content, right? That's what I was thinking. Like, oh my God, what if my dad's friends see the content? And then he made a good point, and he was like, well, if your friends' dads are on your OnlyFans, that's not a really good sign. Like if your dad's friend's on your, because he has to personally go and look you up. So if he's doing that, I would think he's more ashamed and he wouldn't go and tell your dad, hey, I saw your daughter on OnlyFans. So I don't think you have to worry about that. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Damn. So like whenever you made that decision, it was just more so, okay, this is our decision to make together. And it's just more so like as a team, as a unit, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
For sure. And I mean, the biggest thing is, you know, I've always respected anything Jazmin wants to do. I've never pushed her to do anything she didn't want to do. And we put that line where we wanted, like, what we were going to do, what we weren't going to do. And we've never crossed that line, even like today. From 4 years ago that we started Patreon, it's never been crossed. So
yeah. Damn. So like whenever you brought up like a good point about girls that, I guess like they have this perception of what they need to do on there, and like they jump on there and like they don't have like a long-term goal, and they just like, because I've heard the horror stories like where they jump on and like with just the stigmatism, blurry vision, stigmatism, with the stigma alone, like they get fired from their jobs or like people, all that kind of stuff. So what advice would you give a girl or someone that wants to start an OnlyFans account?
I would say the first thing is you have to realize you have to promote somehow, right? There's not an OnlyFans app. Like you have to tell people you have an OnlyFans to make money. So you have to think about your job, because if you do start an OnlyFans and you work in a corporate job, it's probably gonna hurt you, right? So you have to be conscious of that. Now, if now you don't have a job, you have to be aware that, okay, if I want to have an OnlyFans, I'm going to have to promote it. So are you going to be confident enough promoting it? Because you have to drive traffic to your page or you're not going to get money. Yeah. And then once you're okay with that, then setting boundaries for yourself, because it is really like, it's easier because once you start seeing all that money and they'll be like $5,000, $10,000 here for this, for that, you'll be like, shit, should I take it? But you got to make sure you do have some sort of boundary. So you're like, no, you know, I said I wasn't going to do that, so I'm not going to do it, because it is crazy. My mind was completely blown with the amount of things that people ask of you. Like it's just,
and how much they're willing to pay.
And how much they're willing to pay for shit.
What's the most someone's been willing to pay?
50 racks for just like solo play, like masturbation.
Damn.
For just one clip, but I'm sure like that person's probably gonna distribute that shit. So you have to think, you know.
Yeah, that's a real man.
Yeah,
I would be sitting. And
I mean, there's people offering like $10,000 for like basic shit. Like some dude wanted to get kicked in the nuts for like $20K, and that's like, is Jazmin okay with kicking someone in the nuts for $20K?
If there's any motherfucker listening to this shit right now, I will kick your ball sack for $20K.
As hard as you want.
What the fuck, man?
I mean, money gets thrown around a lot, and it makes like that's why you have to know where your boundaries are.
Was there something that where you guys had to sit down? It's like, bro, we got shit, man. This is some good money. We got to talk about this one.
No, I don't. I mean, no, I think.
There's been times where we like record something or we take a picture and we're like,
too far.
Is this on the line? And then we're like, we just don't even do anything with it.
Yeah, we'll delete it.
But I don't think we've ever gotten a request where we're like, oh fuck, like that made us think, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, just those like having boundaries, and then obviously like you have to just own it. If you're gonna do it, own it. Yeah. Right? Commit to it. Make your money. There's nothing wrong with making your money.
But also don't go in with the expectation that you're gonna make fucking $10,000 on your first month, especially if you don't even have a following anywhere. Yeah,
I think that's like the biggest thing. Like a lot of these girls, what happens is that like they see all the success stories, and they're like, it's almost like the new age rapper. Like I want to be a rapper. It's like your typical high school rapper, or like whatever, right? So like they see the success of what being in the music industry could bring. Could bring, and then they get into it, and then they don't realize like the success rate is not that high. You know, like people that are able to make that explosive amount of money, it's because like maybe they transitioned from something they were already doing.
Yeah, they already had that.
Versus being like just typical Sally Mae that graduated from a class of 300 and she only has like 500 followers. Like, bro, like
you're not gonna be making the 200, 300K so that, you know, influencers making. There's no way.
Yeah, so to make that sacrifice wouldn't. Like the potential of like you losing a lot versus like the potential you losing a lot and just gaining like maybe an extra $200 or $300 a month. You really have to equate that.
Yeah.
So like whenever it comes to shooting the content, is there like, because for me personally, when I think about shooting content, there's some days I just like Duhan, like he's my videographer. There's some days I just do not want to film. And I'm just like, bro, just stay home. I don't want to film today. Like, do you guys ever have days where like, I don't feel like up to filming anything or shooting anything?
Yeah. And then we just
kind of get it done.
Yeah,
we just push it next week.
Yeah, we'll try.
I mean, and with me, it also depends if it's the time of the month and I push it back, right? But with OF, the thing I like is that it's not, people go on OnlyFans because they love you, right? They want to see you. They're not there to judge your little roll that came out, right? Yeah. So like what I post on there, I'm not as like picky about with photos as I am when I post something on Instagram, because on Instagram everyone's trying to pick you apart. Whereas on OnlyFans, it's like if he's going on there, he's not caring if like, you know, it's not like a perfect picture with like I look super flat, right? So that's the one thing I like about OnlyFans. But we do have to like, sometimes, you know, it's that time of the month and I'm really bloated, so we push it back. Or sometimes I'm just not feeling myself. Like I'll get ready. Like last week, he was like, babe, we were like one set in, like a outfit set. And he's like, what's wrong? Do you need to eat? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Like you're just not in. I'm like, babe, I'm just like, today's not good. He's like, I'm like, okay. He's like, we can stop. I'm like, no, we need content. Fuck it. We're already in it. Let's finish it. There's just days like that.
Yeah, I feel it. Because there's, I mean, I don't even know if it equates, but there's definitely days where I'll have them pull up and like it's time to train. I'm like, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I don't even want to talk. Like I just want to work out, try your best to like film like an edit out of that. But like when it comes to like talking and shit, I just do not feel like it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just think that like every day it's like a weekend. You're just like, oh, I'm just having fun every single fucking day. But there's like days where you have to like kind of grind through that and push past that a little bit more. Would you guys ever, so would you guys ever like expand the OF business, but not like necessarily with y'all self, but almost creating like a management firm, like where you manage like other women's like accounts? Or have you guys ever been approached? Like,
so we have honestly given that thought, but to be honest, just running her page alone is a lot of work. Yeah. So if that ever came to be, I would hire someone else other than us to do that, because it's a lot of work. You need a whole team. You're gonna need like a photographer. You're gonna need someone to stay on messages. You're gonna need someone because it's honestly a business. Like you have to send out like little campaigns. Oh, here's what I'm doing. Here's like what's coming.
So OnlyFans is it a website or is it an app? Or?
It's only a website.
Only a website.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the downside too. If it had an app, I'm sure the money would be a lot better. But people have to go on www.onlyfans.com and like log in.
Yeah.
And you have to be posting like it's not just once a day, right? You're like constantly posting, constantly messaging. So it's like a full-time job. So then if you're running other people's pages, you would have to hire like a whole team.
When you say messaging, do you mean like messaging like followers or like?
Yeah, so like...
Oh, so you interact with the people that are...
Yeah, that's where you make most of your money.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is there like a paywall to join OnlyFans?
So there's two ways you could set up a page. You could set it up as a free page, and then you could have paywall post, and you could also have your free post.
Okay.
Or you could set up your page on a subscription where they pay monthly, and then anything you post on your wall is going to be unlocked, but you can still send private PPVs through messages.
Okay.
So
I see how it works.
Two ways to go about it.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like everything is like subscription based.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a subscription based type business where like I mean, it could be, but I didn't know so like the personal stuff that people could DM you. It's like, yo, if you send me a video here, like that's what you guys said, like they'll pay extra money for that.
Yeah, that, and then just some people just want to have conversations, or they have
for real?
Yeah, they have custom requests. And
actually, you're right, because on Pornhub, I mean, I wouldn't know, but on Pornhub, they be having like full blown conversations in the comment sections and shit.
Yeah, that's amongst them. So imagine if you could interact with the porn actress. Like, what do you think those dudes would be saying?
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope, actually. So, like, you guys have you guys been approached by, like, any other people to kind of, like, give them, like, the blueprint of, like, how maybe, like, y'all started y'all OnlyFans and did all that, or?
No, I mean, Jazmin has just had girls ask, like, oh, is it worth it? And, I mean, in our case, it's worth it, but... I mean,
but then it's, like, I think it's just the realistic part of it. Like, they're like, okay, is it worth it? But I don't want to share it. I don't want people to know. So it's like, okay, babe.
You want to start a business, but you don't want to tell anyone about it.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's the number one thing that women want to get into it, but they don't want people to know about it. So it's like, you can't make money that way.
Yeah.
So
y'all should work on that. Like low key, like becoming like a management firm.
Man. I mean, like Jazmin said earlier, you know, we're using OnlyFans to, you know, get a certain amount of money. And we're working on other things that hopefully, you know, by this year, this will be the last year that we do OS.
Really?
Yeah.
And then it's just
right off into the sunset.
Or have different struggles, you know?
Yeah. Word. So like, is there anything like, have you guys, because you guys are probably not even in like the actual OnlyFans community, like, or do you guys like follow a bunch of other OnlyFans girls to like get ideas of like what to do next, or?
Yeah.
Not on OnlyFans. Like, we get most of our inspo just off of IG.
Yeah,
like,
but there's a few women that we both follow that are beautiful and that, you know, we love their content. So we'll follow them and see what they're kind of posting and see what, you know, take ideas from them. Or like if, you know, he follows women, he's like, oh, this shoot, so-and-so did this shoot, like we should do something similar to that or whatever. Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, because I noticed like, I mean like I can only relate because I've never done OnlyFans, but I can only relate it to like fitness. Like whenever you see people doing something that's successful, you want to take bits and pieces from that and apply it to your game.
Yeah.
So like, you guys said like eventually you want to end like the OnlyFans journey and all that.
Yep.
Yeah. How, if any, was there been any like struggles with like creating the content on a consistent basis, or like where you're just like, I need to take a break, much like you have to do with social media, or like that's the one where you're like, nah, we need to keep like hammering the content?
Well, we took, honestly, I feel like the only break we took from OnlyFans, and we didn't even take a break as much, was during prep, because I was just like, I don't want to shoot content.
She was just bones.
And I was fucking shredded. I'm like, it was disgusting. Like I had no butt. Like, I mean, I had striations everywhere. I'm like, I do not feel sexy.
Yeah.
So if I don't feel sexy, I feel like it shows on camera. It's like what you said. So that's the only time that like I feel like we didn't make as much content. But I feel like for me, really, OnlyFans isn't as hard to make content as it is to show face on like Instagram or TikTok and make like trends and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think, you know, we've been doing it for a while, and you know, it's great. The money is great, and when you have a good support system, it's great, and you own it, it's great. But there's a lot of like morality things that you have to think about, you know. There's like, you do, like, not everyone's gonna agree. Even listening to your like this podcast, people listen to mine, and not everyone agrees with what we do, right? There's a lot of people who are like, y'all are married, that shouldn't be shown, whatever. Everyone has their opinion, and you will come across that, right? Like, you have to ask yourself, like, what your morals are. Are you okay with showing that much skin? Are you okay with other people seeing that much skin? So I think now, at first, like when you're younger, everything's easier, and now that I'm getting older, I'm like, okay, I definitely think in the next year or two, I kind of do want to back off from doing it, and that's why that's all been our game plan, to where we're making money to build into something else so we can have another business that's going to sustain us as much as OnlyFans is sustaining us, because OnlyFans sustains us a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
And so, so I just told him too, like within a year or two, also I think because I'm needing the breaks, like I think I'll get to, and I don't know, this is how I feel sometimes. I'm like, I kind of want to be, I don't want to be in front of a camera all the time. I just want to be like CEO of my company and just not be in front of a camera all the time. So I think that's where we're trying to transition to. Yeah.
Are you guys naturally like more like behind the scenes type people? Like, do you care to be seen like that? Like,
I don't care to be seen.
Yeah, I know you be chilling, bro. You just be in the cut.
Now I'm getting to the point where like, I don't care anymore. Like, I love having the podcast and it's great to influence people, but I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I just don't really care if people know who I am or not.
Yeah.
You know? Like the privacy part of it.
I'm getting to that point now where I hate Instagram. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hate posting, actually, in general. I just hate posting. Yeah. I hate being seen at this point. It feels weird. Like, before when I was coming up, I was like, oh, I just need to post, and show everyone my personality. Show post. Now I've gotten to a point, like, I could give a fuck less. Like, I'll go days, and I'm like, damn, I need to post something. It's been a couple days now.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
So, like, going off of that, I think I really like what like y'all's house and shit. Like, the aesthetic is like beautiful. Where does that come? Like, the taste. For the people listening, you guys should go to their account. It's like Jazzy and Chris. Like the aesthetic. Are you guys like super into interior design? Like, how do you guys feel about that? Because there's a very like clean.
I'm into interior
aesthetic,
design.
yeah.
If I wasn't doing what I was doing, I'd probably be an interior designer.
Really?
I love interior design.
Yeah.
So.
But our house looks how it looks because I decided that's how it's gonna look.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he's very into interior design as well.
Yeah.
But so I'm very into like, if my house had a vibe, like my dream house would be like almost all cream with some Japanese inspired.
Really?
Yeah. I love all white, natural color stones and things. He likes black and dark accents.
Yeah.
High contrast.
High contrast. So when we were in the house, he honestly picked almost everything. I was like, okay, I guess I like it. And so now I've just kind of taken the high contrast and incorporated like different elements and textures and stuff like that to make it more of a, I didn't want it to be just a modern black and white house. So that's why I've incorporated stones, textures, lighter colors in there to make it look like, okay, it's actually like a home and not just a black and white home. But yeah, I love interior design. I'm always.
Yeah. I feel like if I didn't do, like if I wasn't into athletics and like sports and like working out and shit, like I wanted to go to architecture school or whatever,
cool,
or like
yeah.
I wanted to study that and like eventually, because I loved The Sims growing up. Yeah. And I was like, is there any way I could fucking make this a job? Like,
Yeah.
goddamn. And the closest thing is like architecture, and interior design. So that's like one of my favorite things. But like you guys literally like your house aesthetic is like fucking nice on the inside. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then you're super into cars, right? Like.
I mean, a
decent amount?
I like cars, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I like the most knowledgeable and everything? No. But
No.
I keep up with it.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm like the opposite. Like when it comes like cars for me is a place to get to A to B.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Yeah,
No,
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah,
Yeah, so for me, like growing up, I always wanted cars. Like,
Yeah.
I've always been Fast and Furious, always liked any kind of car. So that was like my biggest motivating factor in life has been have nice cars.
damn.
Like I've always chased for that. I always had posters of cars. I've had little dioramas, little model cars. So I mean, that's still my biggest factor. in life.
Yeah.
Like, I still have cars on my list that I still want to own.
Really, what's the top? What's the top list? Yeah,
Top. Like a Pagani, Koenigsegg, but those are like hybrid cars. You're talking about like
I don't even know what the fuck
$1
you just said.
million.
I was like,
like $1 million plus cars, bro.
shit, man. Fuck. What turns you on about them? Like what? Like I'm just curious because like for me,
For me, I like having things that not a lot of people are gonna be able to have.
Okay,
like
sure.
the exclusivity of things, and that's true for like buying a watch, buying like whatever I buy. It's almost because like it has an exclusive factor.
Yeah.
So, like the car that I have now is a GT3. It's like it's a 911, but it's a very exclusive 911.
that car is out of my super into cars. When I pulled up, I was like, man, that car is sexy as fuck. Like, damn.
Yeah, so as you move up and you start to learn and you have a little bit more money in your account, you're like, oh shit, there's things that are even nicer, even better. And
See, I've been battling with that. Like, I think people think I'm super bougie. I don't know. Like when I talk to people, they're like,
I don't think you're bougie.
people are like, bro, you're bougie. I'm like, what the fuck? No, I'm not. Like, because I've been struggling with, I don't know if you guys think about this, but like when you reach a certain status or like you start making a decent amount of money, in certain times you want people to know you make a lot of money. Like, I don't know. Like when I go out to dinners and shit, like I want people to know like I'm about to walk in a sense. Like, you don't want to be like extremely low key. Like I'm low key on the sense, but like I want people to be like, oh, that motherfucker got money.
Yeah.
But that's the only time. So I struggle with that because I'm like, fuck, man, I really want to buy like 2 cars. But then I was like, man, like when I buy this shit, like I'm just gonna be like, I don't know, because for me, like I spend my money on vacations.
Yeah. Okay.
Vacations and experiences. That's where my money goes towards. Like I wouldn't flinch. Like, okay, like a trip's gonna cost $20K, easy. Oh, you got to put this much down on the car. I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to do that shit. So like I'm trying to get to that point now of that masturation. I'm just like, all right, like try to like look like your income, I guess.
Well, I mean, for me, a lot of my happiness per se is derived from cars. Like,
yeah,
I would still buy that car if social media were not around. If I could not post it, I would still buy that car.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know how you feel about the 2 cars that you're talking about, but if you could buy them without having to post them, would you still buy them? You think?
Yeah.
So
I get weird when it comes to talking about, like, I can talk about anything, but when it comes to like flashy shit, I just like kind of like get shy. I'm like, I don't like.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
He pushes me more. I'm very like, I don't know if you've noticed, but, and I think you're the same way. Like, you make good money. And that's why I don't think you're bougie, because I know you have money, but you're very like low key about you have money.
Yeah,
you're not posting like, look, I'm at a Rolex store. Look at this. Like, we don't ever post stuff like that. For me, like, there's no need. He's the one a little bit more where I'm like, he'll be like, okay, you should wear your nice bag out. Don't not wear it just because you're gonna be around people who don't have it. And I'm like, nah, it's okay. Like, cause then it's like, it seems like I'm like trying to flex it, but I'm not really trying to flex it. So I get you, but I think it just, his cart, he is happy. He's like a little boy in cars. And I will say, like, his happiness is cars, but I have an appreciation to them now too, because there's just something about, it's the feeling it gives you of like, wow. Like, sometimes we'll be driving like 8 p.m., the sun is down, a cool breeze, you're just listening to that right song, and everything has led up to that moment, and you're just like, damn. Yeah. And we just look at each other like, we made it, baby.
We've cried before.
Yeah, we've cried in the car. Like, we think back of like our journey, where we've come, and like, you know, it's not just about like all the things we have. Like, we help our families. The fact that we can help our families, like, our goal in life is like our parents do not have retirement plans. We have to retire them. So I want to retire my family. I want to retire his family. So just to be where we're at right now, like, there's a lot of moments like that where we're just like, damn. Yeah,
I'll say like definitely like the points where I really want like nicer things is it always hits Saturday. My Saturday drive to the gym, because I just feel like everyone's out, and like for whatever reason, I feel like it's always beautiful weather on Saturdays, and I just be driving. I'm like, man, this shit would hit different if I had like a nicer car. It's kind of like
it really does, and it'll make you feel so good.
Yeah. How often do you guys like kind of sit back and think about your journey when it comes to like where you guys are at now?
Pretty often, honestly. Yeah. Like, it's almost on a weekly basis, especially since like right now the culture in Mexican music is what's it called? Corrido, what kind of corrido is it?
Tumbados?
Yeah, corrido tumbado is like what's popping off right now in Mexican culture, and it's like most of the songs are about coming from nothing and working hard.
Okay.
So like you bump that music, you listen to the lyrics, and they're like, oh, back then all I had was a bag of chips and a little plastic toy that would make me happy, and now I'm driving these 6-figure cars, and I'm like, oh shit. But it says it a lot more poetically, So you're like, oh fuck, that's kind of our journey. And like you start thinking about it, and I mean, it's almost a weekly thing for us.
Yeah, back then, did you guys envision like where you guys would be at now? Like whenever you moved over to Houston?
I never really envisioned it. I knew it was a possibility. Like, I knew that there was more. I didn't know how we were going to get it or where it was going to come from, but I knew that, and I know that we still have forward to go from here as well. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone ever really sees their life. Like, I knew we were going to be successful, and I knew we were going to grind to make it work. That I know, like, okay, you're going to have the house that you have now, and like, you're going to have what you have now. You'd be doing what you do now, no. But I think as long as you work hard and you believe that you're capable of achieving great things, you'll achieve great things.
Yeah. I feel like whenever people, because in my last podcast or 2 podcasts ago, I talked about how people move over to Houston and they try to like make something happen. What did you guys think that you would need to do in order to make something happen when you moved over to Houston? Like, was it more so just being around the right people, or is it just like, no, we need to come here and fucking work? Like, what was the thought process when you guys kind of moved over here?
I mean, initially when we moved, Jazmin had just signed with Alpha Elite, so we were like, oh, maybe over closer you'll be used for photo shoots, whatever it may be. But we came here with no intention to write off of anyone.
Yeah,
and we didn't. We always did our own thing. We worked out at Alpha Elite just because that was the place to work out. So, I mean, I feel like seeing Christian, seeing Charlie, seeing you, like everyone's in such a like hustle culture. Like we were like, oh shit, what the fuck can we do? And that's when we started our online training. Like we started our own side hustles, just seeing what everyone else is doing. But we made it our own journey though. I don't think.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, we never asked for handouts. We never like.
I think, before I moved, I talked to Ryan from Ghost, and he was like, if you're gonna move, I just don't want you to get sucked into like just the alpha league culture.
Yeah.
Make your own way. So I really took those words and I was like, okay, yeah, like we're gonna move because I'm gonna be closer, you know, to Christian for photo shoots and things like that. But I need to make my own way. I need to build my own community. And I think we've really done that. And a lot of people, to be honest, have been like who would talk shit in the beginning have come up to me like, dude, your life is crazy because I didn't think you would be where you're at right now. And you've kind of like, they're like, you're kind of like solo all the time. Like, I'm like, yeah, because, you know, I wanted to be around, I think it's inspiring to be around people who work hard, right? It inspires you. But like, we never expected any handouts, right?
Yeah.
Like, we made our own way. And I think that's why a lot of people fuck with us now too. Cause they're like, shit, like they know how to grind on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the things too that like when I first got around Christian and everyone, like I wanted to be part of the group at first. And then I was like, nah, like I feel like you have to make your own way. Yes. Like, it's like when you're around everyone, you kind of want to be part of it. But then you quickly realize like, bro, it's way more important to make your own way and kind of be your own individual. Yes. And not that you have to like kind of just like say fuck them, but it's just like do your own thing. Like don't feel like you have to be with them 100 miles per hour. Because a lot of people are like, how come you don't hang with so-and-so, so-and-so? It's like, no, we're cool. I'm just so busy doing my own thing that we just don't get an opportunity to kind of link and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much it would suck if that was if they were your entire life.
Nah, yeah, you can't.
Then you'd feel like an imposter. Like, who the fuck am I?
Exactly.
Like you would rely on them. So I was like, I don't ever want to rely on anyone.
Yeah.
But myself. So.
You know what's so funny? One of my biggest things that used to annoy me was that people would come to me like, oh, you're the guy from Christian's videos.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, yeah, this can't be my life. I'm like, I can't be getting that shit, man. Like it needs to be like, if that's gonna happen, it needs to be like on my own power. Like people are coming to me because they know me from my shit, not from like someone else's thing. I think it's like the biggest thing. Yeah. But what is the next like level look for you guys? Is it like, do you guys know what that looks like, or is it kind of like the same thing from before? Like, just want to be happy and.
I mean, we know what the next chapter is going to be. Hopefully, we'll announce it in like 2 months. Hopefully.
Oh shit.
But yeah, just like, you know, creating a business that'll provide generational wealth, help retire our family.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the next chapter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, super excited.
Are you guys looking to start a family or is just kind of like just chilling? Because I know some people like, we had but we had like a very passionate conversation at dinner one time with the team. And one of the girls was like, no, I don't want kids. Like, I don't want to bring kids into this world, like at all.
Yeah.
So like, what's your guys' stance on that? If any of you guys have that in the future?
Sometimes we're in that boat. I'm always in that boat. Jazmin flip-flops. She gets on, she gets off. But
wait, you're in the mode of like, you want to have, you don't want kids?
I don't want kids. Just there's so many factors.
Yeah.
You know, like society, who I am as a person. Like there's a lot to a kid. I like having a kid is definitely a selfish thing. I feel like in most cases, people have a kid just so that they can say they have a kid. They don't think of like how they'll influence the kid growing up, how society's gonna influence the kid. Like I don't know, it's a lot of pressure, man.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're an all-in kind of people. So
yeah, you're gonna.
But you know, I've never looked at my life as one with a kid.
You never envisioned a kid in your life.
Never envisioned the kid in my life.
Damn.
But if it happens, I wouldn't be mad, to be honest.
Yeah. I was like, okay, when I was younger, obviously I was like, okay, I want a family. By the time I'm 22, I'm gonna have like 3 kids in a house. Yeah. You know, they teach you that. Well, you think that when you're growing up,
for sure,
because your parents, you know, had you so young.
Yeah.
So that was like the thing back in the day. And then I was like, no, I don't want kids. And now that I am reaching my 30s and seeing everyone around me else have kids, I do sometimes want a kid, and I think about it because I want something that we made together, right? And it is a selfish thing. I 100% agree, because sometimes it comes just from pure selfishness, like, oh, I want a child. But when I really think about, like, okay, what does that entail? Especially because I'm in therapy and I do work. It's like people have kids and they don't realize the amount of pressure that society's going to bring onto them, but also how your struggles and your trauma affects your children, especially if you have not healed your own trauma. So I think about that a lot. So, I mean, some days I'm like, okay, not yet. I'm like, yes, I want a kid. Maybe by the time I'm 32, 33. And then other days I'm like, nah, I'm going to retire at 40 and end up in Italy with no kids. Sometimes that's what I think. So it just depends on my mood. But I think just, I am a nurturing, like women were more nurturing. And sometimes I'm like, okay, am I missing that? Especially when you see like everybody else's kids. And I'm like, I have my niece, I'm her godmother, my best friend, Aurelie, who owns Athletic Empire. Her babies were her godparents. So like, it's great. Sometimes I'm like, okay, this is enough. Maybe once they're a little bit older, we'll take care of them more and then I won't need kids.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I love babies, man. I love like, for sure. 100%. Yeah. Like if I had an accident or something happen, I'd be like, all right, shit, let's go. Okay. I don't know. I just love little, like Izzy, the one that takes care of the podcast, like his son, Xander. Oh my God. He don't be fucking with me like that sometimes, but like, I love.
They're great.
I love.
Like, the cutest things. He loves Mia. Like, Mia loves him, and it's great. Just that's I think the moments more where I'm like, okay, I want a kid because they're so cool. You know, they're so cute. But then when I think about like, okay, look at all the trauma I'm dealing with. Do I want to pass? When you think about like the serious shit, it can get a little overwhelming. If
in an alternate universe you guys were to have a kid, would you want a daughter or would you want a son? Like,
I would prefer a son.
A son?
Yeah, I would prefer a son.
Son too?
Yeah.
My
family's all girls. So.
Yeah, I want a daughter.
You want a daughter?
Yeah, I do.
You're like everyone around us wants a girl. They're always saying that. The guys are always like, I want a girl, I want a girl, I want a girl. Yeah,
I think I just look at it as like almost in a selfish way, like an opportunity to kind of build and grow, like as an individual and learn. A son would just be easy. I'm just like, I already know how to do that.
Yeah.
But with a girl, like it would force me to grow emotionally because like I think for me it would require me to be a lot more emotionally intelligent for her because like women are a lot more in tune with their emotions. So I would definitely want to grow. And plus like, I don't know. I would like to, I don't know. It just feels like you would just like the love that you would get from your girl.
That's what
would just be so different. Cause like dudes at a certain point, man, once little asshole. Like he gets older, like I'm only 5'6" and shit. He might get taller than me, think he could try me and shit. Like I'm not looking forward to like when he gets like, a little bit older, he's able to like test the boundaries a little bit. But you brought up something interesting. You said anxiety, and you're in therapy. Like, how long have you been in therapy and like how long have you been dealing with or do you care to share what you've been dealing with like under?
No, so I've been dealing with anxiety like all my life. It has gotten a little bit worse over the years, I think, just from like the pressures. Sometimes I say I don't deal well under pressure. Sometimes I do, but sometimes if it's like outside pressures, it really does affect me. So I'm in therapy. I started therapy when I took that break because I really needed
you had the therapy before then too.
Yeah, I got my therapy last year for trauma. There's different therapies for different things, right?
Last
year I went for trauma. This year I wanted to find a therapist that would help me change the cognitive way that you think. So I'm a very emotional person. It's really hard for me to think logically first. So when a situation arises, I'm very like reactive and emotional instead of like taking a step back and being more logical. So I was like, okay, I want to go into therapy to get help from someone who can help me change that way of thinking, right? Because it's a pattern, right? And it's not going to be easy. So so the therapist I have, she gives me a lot of exercises, things to do to help me, and it's really, really, really helped. So we go in there, especially with me being so negative in the beginning of the year and taking all that negativity. I was like, I need to stop. I told her, I was like, listen, I'm the type of person that looks at the cup half empty, not half full. I want to be the other way around. I want to be more positive. I want to not think the worst is going to happen as soon as something happens.
Yeah.
And so it's really helped me. I mean, I think I'll always have anxiety, but I have now things that I can do to help cope with it.
Yeah. Damn. Do you it's so funny. I went to therapy, what was it, last year? I did therapy for 6 months straight. I used to struggle immensely with social anxiety.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it would be super underlying. It would be so let's say I'm going to a social setting or an environment where there's a lot of people, I would be freaking the fuck out in my head. like a lot. It would be mostly because like you have that internal pressure. Like it's like a pressure feeling of like, I want to make sure every single conversation I have is good and like engaged. I want to make sure that everyone looks at me in a certain type of way and like doesn't think I'm a fucking weirdo if I don't want to talk, like any of that type of shit. So like when I started going to therapy, I was able to unpack that a little bit more, and I'm like, damn, I didn't know I was suffering from social anxiety. Like I would be in these rooms and like, oh, perfect example. When was this? This was do you remember we had like, it was Shawley, like we were surprising Shawley for his birthday or some shit like that. When we were there, I sweated all the way down to like my fucking shirt. And then like I was talking to Christian and Alex, and Alex is like an asshole, so he's just gonna point it out right there. He's like, damn motherfucker. He's like, your fucking armpits are sweating all the way down to your thing. And I was like, shit, like why am I bugging? Like, so I went to my car and I sat there and I thought, I'm like, bro, why? Like, why do I always feel super anxious and like just weird in these social moments? Like I know pretty much everyone here. But then I went to therapy and broke that down. So it was just interesting to hear like the mental aspect of it, because I feel like a lot of people don't realize they're dealing with things until like maybe someone points that out to them.
Yeah, you have to have like an outside look.
Yeah,
because your partner is gonna know what they know too, but having someone on the outside looking in, like there'll be a lot of times where I'm like, fuck, like I didn't realize that I had that, and it really does help. Do you feel like therapy helped you?
Hell yeah, for sure, 100%. I was like, I feel like it's because you're able to properly manage your emotions when they happen. Like sometimes you get a little bit irrational. So like now, like it taught me different things that I should be doing in order to lean more into that social anxiety. Like at first I started, when I talked to my therapist, she was like, you should have more social events. Like you should throw more events. Okay. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, fuck no. I don't want people in my fucking crib. Like, that's like another thing I don't like. I don't like when people are like in my crib and shit like that. But she was like encouraging me, like, no, you should have those events, and then like literally like almost like mentally write down what you're thinking about when you have those events. I was like, fuck. All right. So I started with one event, had some people over, literally just like super casual. But like in my head, I started thinking like, fuck. And I'm like one of those people, like when people are over, I start moving and touching things and like doing unnecessary shit, like cleaning up shit that I already fucking spent 3 hours cleaning up before they pulled up. I'm like, okay, do you guys want some water? Okay, no, you got it. But I realized that my social anxiety stemmed from like me feeling as though people viewed me in a certain type of way, and I was so conscious and so concerned with making them feel a certain type of way. Yeah. Like it's like, oh, like Russell's boring or some shit like that or whatever. Like it was just like things that I would just think in my head like over and over again, and I would actively try to fight that. And I would have social anxiety thinking about like, oh, these people think this about me. Meanwhile, they're just probably just chilling, eat some chips, like you know. But yeah, no, it's, and then other than that too, dealing with people emotionally in general. Like I'm very fucking petty. Like I'm a petty human. I'm trying to work on that. Okay,
really? But I don't see you as being super petty.
Nah, I'm pretty petty. Oh, I'm pretty fucking petty. Yeah, but I'm working on that. But it's like
I'm working on it. Okay.
No, I'm joking. But I am super petty. But like with just dealing with people and like not being so emotional. Like whenever I make those reactions, I've definitely gotten 100 times better, and just understanding where people are coming from. Like I used to think like my thought process and my way was like the only way, but now understanding like more how other people think, I'm like, nah, man, there's a lot of gray area when it comes to this thing we call life. So
yeah, a lot of gray area. I was just telling him that. I'm like, there's so much gray area in life. It's so overwhelming. Yeah. You can't be thinking about what that person's thinking about. Like, cause sometimes I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, why did this person not do this? And you take it so emotionally, but it had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Do you like struggle with anything like that of that nature, or like?
Nah, man.
You don't think so? I feel like a lot of dudes, man. Like, cause I used to be, I'd be like, the fuck, mental health, like, bro.
No, I mean, I completely understand it. Like, I understand how it's a thing, and I understand why it's a thing. But me myself, like, I don't think I have any trauma, and if I do, it's buried deep as fuck to where it ain't coming out unless I get hypnotized or some shit. But nah, I mean, I've never really had anxiety. The only anxiety I think I ever feel is just like when you're on prep and you're like, oh fuck, am I ready? Am I not ready? Like, I think that's the most anxious I ever get. But I'm pretty good. Like outside noise doesn't really affect me. Like. I'm not an emotional person at all. I'm pretty logical, but I mean that has its downsides too. So But no, I'm good. I'm just Jazmin support when I can.
Yeah,
be.
that's dope, man. I feel like that's cool whenever like you're able to just like chill and play the back. Like it's actually like rare to find people that aren't trying to like get put on from something. Yeah. Like a lot of the people that I be around these days is just like, it's just like I could just tell they're just waiting for their moment. Like,
oh really?
Hell yeah! What? Yeah, I feel like everyone's kind of like that. They just like just waiting for their big moment to like pop off or some shit like that. Whereas there's some people I'm just chilling, bro. Like I'm just chilling through life. Like I'm working hard and doing my own thing. But like when it comes to like actually being out there and put that out there on social media, that's not what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Everyone's always trying to look for, I guess, like an opportunity or something, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I think that some people.
You're around that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You're around that a lot more.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's almost like you're like, okay, are these relationships actually genuine or not?
Is it coming at your expense?
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Actually, I've been. Deal with that.
Yeah, I've been in that mode for like a fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, have you guys ever had someone like close to you kind of like stab you in the back, like publicly, like try to shit on y'all or anything like that?
Not publicly.
Yeah, not publicly.
But we've had people who are like, oh, we don't want the social media life, and then they're like lying about it, and then they go and blow up, and then they're talking shit, right? I've had that, but
really
recently, yeah.
I'm not gonna ask you about it, but
no, we're not gonna.
So wait, so the person like told you they didn't want that social media life, and then somehow blew up, and then started. Okay.
Yeah. So which is. To me, it's like, just be honest with me, right? Like, why not help each other out? If that's what you want, you had no following, I'll help you out. Like, we can help each other out, but that's beside the point. But you're around. We have a really small circle of friends. We go to the same gym. We hang out with like, not the same people, but we have different friend groups, and they're all like not into social media, so it's really nice, right? It's
refreshing.
But you're, in the gym. Your gym is like people who are recording themselves, who are waiting for that moment. So it must suck to be. Like,
so like I'm in the powerlifting community. It's small, but it's not, and
it's gotten a lot bigger.
Yeah, no, it's gotten a lot bigger, which like is now becoming the cool thing for like influencers to try out powerlifting. It's like, oh, like we're gonna do a powerlifting meet or whatever. But like I have to be very careful about what I say when people are around, because I never know, like these people are gonna run and tell other people some shit or whatever. So I'm just very cognizant of like who I'm around at all times. Like when I'm at the gym, I try to like keep it very like base level conversations and not try to come out of pocket and say some stuff that I should only say like around my actual team. But now that I think about it, it's hard to get like, to me, if it makes sense. Like I don't let people in like that anymore. Cause it definitely, recently, the people that are listening know, but like recently I got fucked over. Or not fucked over, but definitely like it bit me in the ass for sure. Yeah. It just,
it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. It's really like, it's almost like a betrayal of like your trust. And it hardens you as an individual, because you're like, now you're rethinking like all the relationships that you've built, and you're just like, oh man, shit, maybe I shouldn't have gotten this close to that person, or maybe I shouldn't have like divulged so much information to this individual. Yeah.
Some moments of regret for sure.
Yeah. Oh my God. How long are we in? I hope we're not hour and a half. Damn, man. I just feel like I just keep rifting and keep going. Did you want to get into like just some general questions that we should answer, or? Oh, you sent me a screenshot? How's the we talked off air about it, but how's like the podcast coming along?
Our podcast is good, continuously growing. No money. But it is what it is. It didn't start for the money, so it's still not really a goal. But viewer count goes up, episodes are consistent, so it's good. Yeah,
I would say like the biggest thing for the podcast thing, it's almost just like a way to vent.
It is.
Just get your shit off. Yeah,
I feel like I get on there and I vent and I like let them know what I'm thinking about. And it's like a talk. Like it feels really good.
Yeah, if you guys, I mean, obviously, if you guys are listening to this, you should check out her podcast. It's the Provocative Podcast, right? Yeah. I think you guys do the podcast right, because let me not. Not that I hate, okay.
Go ahead and start now.
Yeah, okay, do not clip this part. But you know what I really dislike whenever people start a podcast, but they're not true to like the actual craft of podcasting, if that makes sense. Like, if just like, I feel like podcasts are meant to just talk freely,
Yes.
speak freely. And I feel like I just hear too many people being like extremely like surface level and political. I'm like, bro, you might as well have just never fucking recorded in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Or just like you bring people along and like it's like the same generic questions and like the line of like, I don't know. To me, like I just want to get on if I'm listening to a podcast, I want to hear that person's true, authentic self.
Right.
You know, and I feel like you guys do a really good job of like when I've seen clips, I haven't like actually listened to an episode, but the clips, I'll be dying laughing. Like it just be some funny ass shit.
Yeah, because I like for me too with the guests, I want them to feel like it was like a personal experience. It wasn't just like surface level questions, right?
Yeah.
I think about like, okay, what do I want the audience to learn from having this guest on? You never know what that person is going through, whatever. There was the one with UFC fighter Tracy Cortez, and hers was so good. And I asked her because she had in her bio she has like this phrase, and I asked her, I was like, why is there that phrase in your bio? Because I'm sure she doesn't get that question. And she was like, no one's ever asked me that. And then she just starts crying. Because it had to do with her mom passing away and her brother passing away. And then I'm sitting there crying. She's crying. Chris is crying.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it's those raw moments that matter to me. And like, that's why I took a break too, because when I was focusing all the negative, I kept going on the podcast and thinking, okay, I shouldn't say this because people are going to take it the wrong way, or I shouldn't say that because and now I was like, that's not the reason I started the podcast. I started the podcast to be my true authentic self. That's why people love me. So either you fuck with me because you fuck with me, and if you don't, I'm not going to fucking apologize. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's a great feeling of just like sharing what you think. And if people like you, they like you. And if they don't like you, they don't like you.
It's so freeing as a content creator when you get to that point where you're like, man, fuck these guys. Like, I was like, like I tried doing the nice shit and I still got hate.
And
now,
you still get hate.
Yeah, now, man, fuck y'all. Like, I'm just gonna do me. Do you guys like watch like UFC? At all?
I watch big fights, but I don't keep up with
okay, because I heard like, I mean, you mentioned like having like UFC fighter friends and all that kind of stuff.
Well, Tracy Cortez, she's with Ghost too. And
okay.
really close friends. Yeah.
I love like one of my favorite things to do is like usually have fight nights like I think Saturday or Friday. I think it's Saturday. My favorite things to do is finish up my workout, go home, and just chill and watch UFC all day.
Oh,
Have you been to a fight?
Yeah, I went to Izzy Adesanya's fight, the most recent one with against Alex Pereira. That was good. I went to to watch it. Yeah. It's so fucking good.
It's way different. Yeah.
So I'm not like a live sports type of person, but like when I went to the UFC one, it was like I was like a kid like in fucking Candyland.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, super fun. Bro, can y'all stop asking the fucking like lifting questions? God damn. Bro, I hate answering equipment questions, man. Like, oh, would you rather use like a Inzer or SBD belt? Like, what the fuck, man? Shout out to DeMonte. Just called him out. Okay. Do you guys have like a favorite comedian?
I think Jazz is really feeling Matt Rife right now.
Yeah.
He's actually going to
be... I just watched his special...
in Houston.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No.
Pre-sales today.
No, I looked at the list. I only saw Austin and San Antonio.
They just announced it.
For real?
I know for a fact.
Tell me?
No,
I'm scared to go as an audience though, because I feel like you'd call me out or something.
Yeah, you just... So I went to Drewski recently and like I sat like front row and that's like my worst fear, fucking getting called out.
November 17th at Smart.
He has a Houston?
Yeah, 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah.
I'm buying fucking tickets when we get off of this. I was a hater at first. Like, so I was watching his clips on Instagram or on
Matt?
Matt.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was watching his clips on TikTok and I'm like, man, because I like comedy. I'm like, man, this dude is not even like really like telling any jokes. I haven't seen one joke yet.
He just goes off.
He just goes off a script. So I forgot what I was watching recently, but there's something on Twitter where I saw it and like it was actually funny. Like it was like a really good riff where he was like doing crowd work. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me see if he has a special. He has a special. He has 2 specials on his YouTube channel. So I watched it and I'm like, all right, he's pretty fucking funny. Okay. So like, yeah, Matt Rife is he's pretty popular right now. Yeah. I'm gonna check. You know what? I'm gonna buy tickets for that show.
Yeah, I think we're gonna buy tickets then.
Yeah, I love going to live comedy shows. Those are fun.
I think that's the only one, right now that we.
Yeah, that's the only one that we. I mean, we watch on and off. Freaking Theo Vaughn is pretty funny.
Theo Vaughn, his podcast.
But he's way out there.
Yeah, his podcast to me is more funny than his actual stand-up shit. Because I watched one of his stand-up shows and I was like, I don't get it. But his podcast like makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys watch, like, what's y'all's favorite podcast?
Have you heard of Shits and Gigs?
Nah.
It's so they're in the UK. It's two guys. They just get like I guess like topics off of like Twitter or something. They're funny as fuck.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that we watch the most.
We watch that one the most, and then obviously I listen to like motivational podcasts. Ed Milet is my favorite.
Motivational podcasts. You know what? So I actually don't like motivational podcasts.
No?
No.
Really? I love Ed Milet.
Because you guys remember when Gary Vee was like super popular?
Yeah.
I listened to him for like 1 day or 2 days and then stopped. I'm like, okay, like that should be it, right? Like that's all you really need to hear. But like I always find it like, I don't know, for me, I'm just like, if I hear it one time, I'm good. Yeah. I don't know. Everyone.
I listen to it when I'm running.
Running? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
You know, like
I would need like a motivational speech for like.
I like to look like at funny or murder mysteries if I'm driving. Like it's different. So it just depends on my mood.
Do you know about Crime Junkie? Crime Junkies?
I haven't listened to that one. We do Murder with My Husband.
Murder with My Husband? Okay.
Yeah, have you listened to Murder with My
Husband? Nah, I haven't. I've done Crime Junkies, and then like there's like this other one that was, I don't like it as much, but I forgot the name of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite podcast?
The Brilliant Idiots podcast. Do you guys know Charlamagne the God at all?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, or Andrew Schultz.
I don't know.
Or Andrew Schultz.
I don't know. Probably if I saw.
He's like a comedian. Yeah. He was like super popular during the pandemic, and I mean he's still popular now. But yeah, I've been listening. They're actually the first podcast that like I listened to like back in like 2010 or 2011. Yeah, and I've been a fan of podcasts in general ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I always tune into like the different. Once I watch a lot of like the sport ones because they'll get into like actual life and talk about their backgrounds and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But let me see. Honestly, let's see if we have any more questions because y'all need to get better at this shit. It sucks because like we get a lot of fitness questions, man.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Do you like if you guys like incorporate any like ask me's? Is it only about fitness?
It's a lot of fitness questions. Yeah.
Do you guys watch any Marvel stuff?
Any what?
Marvel stuff, like comic book stuff?
No, we're not big Marvel fans.
What?
Jazz is not about it. I've watched a couple of myself, but to be honest, like I have no time to do things by myself.
Oh, everything's like together, right?
Like it's together. So if she's not about it, it's not. It's
really?
Not
so wait, do you guys have like you time?
Like like maybe like 3 times a week. At the end of the day, I would just game with like my brothers and my friends.
Oh, okay.
It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But for me to take that hour and a half and sit in the living room to watch a movie I want to watch, it's not the same because she's gonna be there.
Yeah. Okay, here's a decent one. What's y'all's biggest relationship pet peeves?
Pet peeves? What's something that you do?
Oh, man, I'm trying to think. Biggest.
I don't know. I feel like we've lived with each other long enough that we don't do things that the other person hates now.
Yeah, I literally just asked you this the other day because I saw it on TikTok and I was like, I don't think there's anything that really like annoys me or it's like a pet peeve. He used to just like if he finished this water bottle, he would leave it in a corner in the kitchen. Like he would have at the end of the day, he would have a pile of trash.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing it in the trash.
I would throw it all away at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Oh, okay.
But he would just like pile it. I'm like, why would you not just throw it in the trash? But I think that's it. We don't really do anything to annoy each other.
I don't think there's any pet peeves really.
Yeah, we give each other our space when we need our space. Right now when I run, I go off to run for 2 hours. He's alone. He goes and trains alone. So like we spend a lot of alone time. But if like we don't watch Marvel movies and stuff like that because at the end of the day when I'm sitting on the couch, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, either you can go game, I'll read my book, or we can sit here and we'll watch like we like to watch comedy stuff. So like and short sitcoms. We don't like to watch long stuff. I don't like to sit down for like an hour and watch something. It's really rare for me to do that. So it's always like 30-minute episodes that we like to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. You guys don't like anime either, huh?
No.
None of that shit.
No.
My brothers are into it.
Yeah, for real? What do you guys like to do in your free time then? Like you know why? Cause like I'm so like my free time is like even I'm not even gonna lie, on my drive here, I was listening to a breakdown of like one of the Marvel movies I just watched recently.
Yeah.
I do that shit all the time. And then like I'm super into anime. Like, damn, this morning I read like a whole fucking
Free time, I mean, we go out, we try new restaurants.
We love trying new restaurants.
That's my shit too.
New bars.
Yeah.
I mean, we honestly just chill at home and like this weekend we watched like 3 chick flicks.
2. No, what did we watch?
Redeeming Love, do not recommend, by the way. Horrible movie.
And then what other thing did we watch?
Bridesmaid Warrior. No, Bride Wars.
You only watched the last 30 minutes of that one. It wasn't bad. But yeah, we go out. We'll go out to eat, or I mean, we don't do anything crazy. We'll just watch TV together, spend time with Mia whenever we can spend time with her, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Are you guys like smokers or drinkers at all? Like, you guys do any of that kind of stuff? Because you guys are super fucking healthy. Like when it comes to like the fitness aspect things.
For like social
events. Drinking.
Yeah, but never.
Have you been to Clarkwood? Here in Houston?
I have, but it was a while ago.
It's good. I like their drinks there. So like, if I'm gonna go get drinks, we'll get like good drinks. And he likes to smoke cigars. So.
Man, last time I smoked a cigar was in Vegas. I was like learning how. I didn't know like you're supposed to like take your time with it. I smoked in like 10 minutes or like 5 minutes.
And mean ass headache.
No, I fucking blew chunks everywhere. So I was like drinking too. We were at a club and then like I got like a cigar and I was just like smoked that thing down like 2 songs. Whew, man, I got kicked out for sure, but I threw up in the restroom and just like chunks just everywhere.
Oh my God.
I got carried out. And like the cop, as I was leaving, he's like, "Oh man, I watched your videos." Had like throw up on me and shit. I was like, fuck, man.
That's the worst.
It's so fucking embarrassing. No. Yeah, but I think, man, there's like no like real interesting questions on here. Everything's about fitness. Like, what supplements can be beneficial to your fitness journey? Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know. But
just your protein.
Yeah, to eat protein, man. But other than that, man, is there anything you guys want to say before we end the pod? Any departing words? Any motivational phrases?
Give him your motivational phrase, babe. To give anything less than your best.
No, that's not my quote.
Anything less than your mess?
It's like so Steve Prefontaine. So back then I was a runner, and he was like the very first like Nike runner per se, and his quote was, "To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift." And like that's the way I had it, like as my high school quote. My brother has it on his arm because he's a runner too.
Write that down real quick.
It's a good quote to live by.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever give anything less than your best.
Said anything less than your best
is to sacrifice the gift.
Damn, anything might be if you see me if you see that as like one of my captions.
No, but I mean, I think it's a good mantra to have, and I mean, me and Jazmin have the quote. If there's not a way, we will find a way.
Yeah.
Or we will make a way.
Yeah, we will find a way, or we will make one.
Oh, you got tatted? Mm-hmm. Oh shit.
Yeah, when we started in our little apartment, we were like, we'll find a way, or we're gonna make one and get out of here. So we did.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, so once again, thank you guys for like tuning into the podcast stuff. Like, it's really cool to see like the growth of the podcast, just because like, once again, like this is more so like a passion thing. Like I feel like talking in general, like being able to kind of come here and vent or just talk to people in general is really cool. Instead of just like having like a business model behind it, whereas like, okay, like I have to post this in order to hit these markers. But this is episode number 7. Oh, where can they find y'all shit? I need to get better at that too.
I mean, mine is _Chris P with 2 eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know why it just always been
He
that
just
way.
has Instagram. I'm just _Jazzyfit on Instagram and on TikTok, and then I have the Provocative podcast, and then you can find, if you want to look at my OnlyFans, link in bio on my Instagram.
No Twitter?
No, we don't have Twitter.
Really?
You still have Twitter, huh?
Yeah, I stay on Twitter. Twitter's my favorite app. TikTok is catching up just because TikTok is like informational if you allow it to be.
Yeah.
Twitter is like the news. Like you just catch up on shit that's happening on the world on Twitter. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never had a Twitter.
Yeah. Honestly, just don't get on it. Yeah. It's getting fucked to this point. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning into episode number 7 of the Better Take podcast. I'm your host, Russell, and we're out.